Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The battle against coal mining in Tasmania hit State Parliament today, with the Greens pushing for a statewide ban on new developments. But the government and Labor teamed up to water down the motion, instead saying they don't support mining on our agricultural land.
Tasmania's 2 Greens members walking away from an emotional afternoon in Parliament, their bid to ban new coal mines in Tasmania failing.
It's incredible, given everything that we know about the state of climate breakdown, that we can countenance mining new thermal coal in Tasmania.
The debate triggered by a proposal for a new coal mine in the Midlands. The Minerals Council saying the project should be given due process, and shutting down the opportunity could be bad for the state. The government didn't support the Greens' motion, but isn't overly supportive of the mine proposal itself.
I do consider it an improbable proposition and very unlikely that the licences will be grounded or renewed or any mining leases in the area be approved.
Labor and the government joined forces to scuttle the Greens' motion, adding in amendments to say they don't support mining on agricultural land.
There needs to be a just transition for any workers, but also recognising the importance of those existing industries. At the same time, making it very clear that the Labor Party does not support new coal mines in productive agricultural land.
More than 100 anti-coal advocates watching on, now promising not to give up their fight.
They pollute globally. They're uneconomic. They trash our brand. They trash our farmland. They trash Aboriginal land. They're not in the interests of the state.
Michelle Wisby, 7 Tasmania News.
2 climate protesters have put their own bodies on the line by giving up food and shelter for nearly a week. It's a quieter approach taken by Extinction Rebellion, with food donated to the pair passed on to a local charity.
The first mouthfuls of food in 5 days.
Thank you, guys. Couldn't have done it without you.
These activists have spent 4 long nights out in the elements here at Franklin Square, foregoing food and a roof over their heads in the name of climate action.
The first day is always difficult, and then after that it gets a little easier, but the cold weather didn't.
Today's action, a stark contrast to Extinction Rebellion's antics yesterday, seeing members arrested outside Parliament House, with the hunger strikers rewarded with a small meal.
To raise awareness to climate emergency, but also to raise awareness to the mass starvation that's to come if we don't act on climate change now.
We'll keep on making the same message until they do take some notice.
The climate group's logo splayed across the grass, made up of food items collected for the display, all donated to local mobile charity Louis Van to provide meals for those in need.
This is a nice way for us to let them know that we're thinking of them as well and how they may be impacted, but yeah, also just lovely to celebrate this fast and then donate to a really great cause.
The activist group has been labelled extremist fringe dwellers by state and federal government MPs. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
A car rollover has caused traffic issues in Hobart this morning before the vehicle could be towed away. It happened on the Brooker Highway near Risdon Road just before 9 o'clock. No serious injuries were reported. A whale has died after being found washed up on a beach in Bridgeport. The 4-metre pygmy right whale was spotted by locals at Old Pier around 3 p.m. yesterday. Council and Dipipwe staff were notified and attempted to save the stranded mammal, but struggled with a fast outgoing tide. Staff have taken samples from the carcass for research purposes. Mud from Tasmania has led to a surprising discovery of a potential new painkiller. Material was extracted near a boat ramp in the Huon Valley 16 years ago. Researchers from the University of Queensland and Sydney found a fungus in the sample which emits a special molecule similar to the body's own pain relief. They've modified it and are looking to turn it into a natural painkiller, which they say could be safer than traditional opioids. There's promising news tonight from Tasmanian health authorities, with the number of flu cases beginning to fall. They're describing this season as mostly unremarkable, but there was an increase in cases during the peak.
Health authorities are constantly monitoring the number of influenza cases. A total of 560 cases confirmed in Tasmania in August, up on the 4-year average.
We often peak in Tasmania in August, and we did see a peak in mid-August where we saw around 180 cases diagnosed in one particular week then, but certainly the most recent weeks in early October we're now down to less than 50 cases per week.
We've definitely experienced that as well. There's been a lot of very unwell people and we're seeing a number of cases.
Over 2,400 cases have been reported statewide from January to August this year. However, Tasmanian Public Health says the state ranks low compared to the rest of the country.
We've seen around about half the numbers of flu that have been seen in other states when you consider those numbers per capita. So that's quite a good message as well for Tasmania.
Some 300,000 people, as my information is, were vaccinated in the recent flu season. That is a very high number. Free vaccinations leading the nation.
And while the number of cases are now declining, those at risk are still reminded to get their jab.
Those people that have lower immune systems, they're very young, those people with diseases, then we would encourage them particularly to get vaccinated.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmania First survey of almost 30,000 students has revealed 8% of young people say they're frequently bullied. Launching the results of the Student Wellbeing survey at Rosetta Primary School today, the data covers everything from resilience to eating habits and sleep. It reveals while most students feel safe at school, bullying remains a problem.
What we've done here is provide a platform for young people to have a say, and that's really important. The real challenge is now taking what they've told us and turning it into the service response that they need to have a really good life.
The survey will now be undertaken annually, with the data used to plan and implement programs for students. Tasmanian farmers who took an innovative approach to reducing food waste have been crowned Australian Farmers of the Year. Sue and Gerard Daly are potato farmers, but found 20% of their crop was going to waste because it wasn't attractive enough for supermarket shelves. They set up the Daily Potato Company at Sorell and are turning waste produce into salads and even alcoholic products. They also received an award for innovation. Home-delivered restaurant food is now being delivered to a second Tasmanian city. Uber Eats has launched in Launceston, but not everyone is happy about it.
It's the fast, simple way to get food delivered straight to your door at the touch of a button. And today, Launceston became the 20th city in the country to receive the popular service.
It has taken off like absolutely you cannot believe. Since about 10 o'clock this morning it was released and I haven't stopped driving since lunchtime.
61-year-old Karen Hudson became an Uber driver 3 months ago and hasn't looked back.
Truly it just enhances what I'm already doing. So my Uber Eats customers are a new group of people that I haven't met before, and I've met 6 more of them today, which is wonderful. So the Uber Eats is just a fun thing to do as well as the drive.
A range of restaurants, pubs and fast food outlets have been added to the app already. Businesses say they're looking forward to seeing what the service unlocks.
I think it'll do very well because not very many people know that we do meals anymore, so it'll be a bit of like promoting the meals and stuff again.
Uber Eats took off in Hobart in May last year, with the company saying it's been pleased with how residents have embraced the service. But Uber Eats hasn't been without its fair share of controversy. The Transport Workers Union says it has serious concerns about the safety and exploitation of workers. It claims there is no minimum wage guarantee and describes the insurance scheme for drivers as woefully inadequate. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmanian News.
Well, the oven mitts were on as chefs competed in the Tasmanian baking competition. Bakeries from across the state battled for top prize in various categories, including best loaf, pastry and cake. And the experts have given their tip for quality baking.
Just to focus on the time, let the flavours develop over time and really work hard and put your soul into it.
More than 30 bakeries entered the competition, an increase on last year. The Dogs Home is calling for more volunteer foster carers as it deals with an influx of animals. Some of its newest residents include a litter of week-old puppies surrendered after an emergency caesarean.
These week-old puppies starting to find their feet, surrendered with their mother to the Dogs Home in Hobart after an emergency caesarean.
Due to her condition, we thought it's best that we take care of the pups and give her time to get better and get stronger. The pups have been doing really, really well in foster care.
The litter needing regular 3-hourly checks due to their condition.
Getting fed, every 3 hours, so it's keeping the foster carer on her toes, having to feed them that often, but it's doing really well.
The Dogs Home seeing an increase over recent months in cases similar to these, calling for more foster carers to help deal with the pressure.
Recently we've got a lot of puppies and nursing mums coming through, which has, put a strain on us and on our foster carers. But, we're all doing the best that we can.
While the puppies aren't currently available for adoption, Dogs Homes across the state have plenty of other animals available, like Rod here, ready to find their forever homes.
Just call the relative home. They'll be able to give you all the information that we have, or you can pop in and, spend some time with the dog and get to know them.
Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmanian News.
If you're car crazy, then you might want to take a drive down to the National Automobile Museum of Tasmania, celebrating its opening night at its new purpose-built facility in Launceston.
Be it a Rolls-Royce, Aussie muscle car or a Maserati, there's something for everyone at the National Automobile Museum of Tasmania, moving into its new home in Launceston. It's housing more cars than ever before, including vehicles never seen on display until now.
It was designed in Launceston, built to our specifications. It is larger than our old museum. It's all on one floor level now, so there's no stairs.
The museum's curator has been busy sourcing cars from private collections. It is currently celebrating Italian cars with an exhibition featuring Fiat, Lancia and Ferraris, which is set to be a draw card.
So we're hopeful that we'll boom, that we'll have magnificent crowds come through. And the response we're getting from people who have been through is nothing but positive.
The museum has undergone its greatest transformation yet to this purpose-built facility, with over 100 vehicles on display from all across Australia. Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmanian News.
Expectations are high for the Hobart Hurricanes women's side ahead of their opening WBBL match this weekend, with the squad boasting one of the most impressive lists in the competition this season.
We've probably snuck up from being underdogs to someone who could be a contender. So, I think our squad's as strong as it's been, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how we go.
The Canes flew out of Hobart this morning ahead of a series of practice matches in Melbourne before their season openers against the Stars on Saturday and Sunday. The buzz is building ahead of an historic night of boxing for the state, with a packed house expected for the Bridgeport Big Bash. And with a string of young female talent on the card, it may only be a matter of time before Tasmania produces a women's world champion.
Friday night's Pro-Am event will feature more female fighters than ever seen before on a Tasmanian card.
And that's what we're trying to showcase here in Tasmania, having so many females to be able to represent the state and, and move on to bigger and better things.
As the first woman in the state to turn professional, Christina Mousey Jacobs will feature as the main event of the night against Queensland's Rebecca Radley, and is keen to see how some of the younger girls she's helped mentor fare in the night's undercards.
I didn't really have a lot of girls when I was growing up, so now that they've got me and Georgie Bailey, it should be good.
Hoping to carve out their own names in the sport, Bridgewater local Georgie Bailey steps into the ring for the co-main event against former New South Wales state champion Ellen Beale. While Sarah Hume will also be out to climb the boxing ranks, with the pair confident Tasmania can eventually produce a world champion as more young females than ever continue to take up the sport.
Yeah, it's coming. Mouse has taken the step up for the first pro in Tasmania. People will follow. It's just a matter of time.
Come along and they find out it's not quite like they imagine. It's really friendly, and there's great people who do boxing, and it's the ultimate challenge.
And organisers are urging fight fans to turn out in force if they want to continue seeing local events emerge.
Really get out there and support this show. It's about being able to do it again and have these shows back on. Every month it'd be great to be able to do a really big show for these girls and all the guys that are on this show.
The action begins at 7 p.m. on Friday night at the Brighton Civic Centre.
Good evening. Interesting weather today. Early fog over the Derwent Valley, cleared to sunshine, patchy cloud over many areas and afternoon showers in the north and east. Hobart our high with 18 degrees, Launceston 16, Burnie and Devonport 14. Ouse and Friendly Beaches 17, Grove and Strawn 16 today. Many centres recording 15 degrees, a cool 13 at Lowhead and Lyreweenie the overnight low with -7. Best rainfall 23 millimetres overnight at Little Swanport, while today totals were quite low. A band of mid-level cloud extends from Victoria over Bass Strait to our north as low cloud developed over the state this afternoon. A band of cloud stretches from southeastern Australia to New Zealand, areas of cloud over South Australia, southern Queensland and southwest WA. Tomorrow a complex area of low pressure links Sydney to east of Flinders Island with associated troughs and fronts. A high over South Australia looks after that region while a trough influences the north. Winds variable at 5 to 15 knots, tending mainly southeast to southwesterly later at 15 to 20 knots up over the east and to 30 knots offshore later. Swells to 3 metres. A strong wind warning for eastern waters from the top of Flinders Island to St Helens Point. A possible shower for Hobart, 6 overnight, 16 tomorrow, 16 the top for Cygnet, partly cloudy, maybe an afternoon shower for New Norfolk and 18 degrees. Launceston, a high of 18, a shower or two developing, a possible shower for Devonport with 16, 17 the top for Campbelltown. Burnie expecting 16 degrees with a shower or two, a late shower for Strawn 16 as well and 17 for Smithton. While St Helens, showery and 16, 15 for Swansea, showers for Fingal 16 degrees. On Friday, showers over the west and north extending statewide in the afternoon, possible late thunderstorms over the west and snow to 500 metres. More showers on Saturday, possible small hail over the south, snow lowering to 500 metres again. The far northeast missing out on most of that rain. And on Sunday, showers over the west, central and south, contracting to the west in the afternoon. Sunny and 23 in Perth, partly cloudy in Adelaide tomorrow. Showers clearing later from Melbourne, a top of 15, a windy day for Sydney, a shower and possible storm for Brisbane. Bit of cloud over Hobart, 13 at the moment, 13 as well in Launceston, mostly cloudy and 12 degrees in Devonport. I need to tell everyone at home not to adjust your sets. Yes, that is the actual colour of Joe's jacket. That's better.
Last time I wore it, you called me a licorice all sort. Anyway, thank you very much, Murph. Just trying to brighten your day. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.